Okay, so we're ready for the last step of the Drumleaf book. We have the pages are already glued together. We let that sit overnight and we pressed them so they're good and tight. So what you'll need today are your covers. We have the white piece of paper that's going to go here. We have the spine paper, should be your big strip of paper, and then the cardboard strip that you're going to measure to cut to size of your book. Glue spreader, craft stick, and I have glue to my side. And wax paper just so things don't stick together. So the first thing we're going to be doing is the white paper that's going to cover this part of your book and help support everything and keeping it together. You might be able to see in this one, it's that white paper there. That's glued to that first layer on the outside. So we will be gluing the whole entire thing. I'm just going to put some glue on the spine. And then match it up with my paper. I'm trying to center as much as possible. I did put this over my book and crease it, so I kind of knew where the center was. There it is. This will be just slightly smaller than your pages. So I'm just centering it the best I can right there. Push this down really good. Take off any extra glue there. And then I'm going to put glue on both of these sides and we'll use a craft stick to spread it onto the page. Okay, and I have glue on both sides. I'm just going to press this over. And then I'll use a craft stick. That'll help get all the air bubbles out. If anything's not sticking, you'll want to add more glue. Same thing on the other side. A little bit on the corner there. Okay, so everything should be down nice and tight. So it looks like I'm good for that. Okay. So next I'll take the paper that's going to be the decorative part of the spine. So it's going to be this part of what we're looking at. So that cardboard piece that we cut is going to go right here. And this will cover the other papers, but we're not going to glue the middle, and I'll show you that in just a minute. So for this, you want the brighter side out if you can see through your paper. This is my colorful side. So this side is going to be facing up. And if you have some print on your cardboard, you'll want that to be up. So I'm going to put glue on the white side. That way it doesn't show, the pattern won't show through my paper. Just in case if you have a lighter paper. So I'm going to get glue on this. I'm going to move my wax paper over. I got glue up there. And we'll be gluing it right to the center. And I did kind of crease it so I had an idea of where the middle of my paper is. That's up to you if you want to do that ahead of time or not. And we're trying to be careful and just get glue on the cardboard strip, not on that other paper. So I'm not adding a ton, just enough. So you want that in there as straight as possible, especially if you already made your creases and you're going along that. Use my craft stick on there. Okay. Then what we want to do is fold the top and bottom in. You can check this if you want to by putting your book there, checking to make sure the folds are in. This one, it looks like I need to go in just a little bit further because it is hard to cut or fold it straight if you didn't have a perfectly straight paper. I know mine was not, so I'll check it again. Okay, it looks like it'll be pretty close, and when I glue my covers on, that'll definitely get covered up, so it's okay. Might go just a little bit straighter across there. Okay, so once you've decided that that's in a right place for you, we're gonna glue these folds into place. So I'm gonna get my glue spreader, and I'm just gonna apply glue right here. Make sure that cardboard got glued down okay. And then fold that into place. Use your craft stick to crease it. And you can burnish the edge there a little bit just to make sure that that's down all the way. Make sure that's glued. I got a corner here, needs more attention. Okay, that side looks pretty good, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So applying glue. Fold that over. Using the craft stick, burnish the edges around the cardboard. Okay, so the spine piece is ready to go. I'm going to fold that because I have a lot of glue kind of all over the place. I'm going to go ahead and crease these edges. So what I'm going to do is just take my paper and folding along the cardboard. That way I know exactly where the middle is when I go to apply this to the book. So I'm just going to double check things. So it should be just a little bit outside my pages. Looks like it's going to be good. When you go to apply glue for this, we want to leave this middle section clean. So no glue on that because this will not stick to your book. This part right in here, so when I open the book and you see that gap, this piece is what we're adding on right now. So about a finger width away on either side works really well. If you need to mark it, you could. Just use my pencil there and I can mark that on either side. Or if you're comfortable just eyeballing it, that's okay too. I usually do. Okay, so from about there on out. So I'm going to take my glue spreader again. So about that space on out, all the way down. Same thing on the other side. Okay, then we're ready to apply the pages. So I'm just going to put that right in the middle. And then pull that, should be pretty tight. We're going to use the craft stick on there, so I just want to get it there. Make sure it's where I want it. Looks pretty good. I'm going to use my craft stick. Make sure that's really tight. I'm pushing pretty hard. I usually break these. I'm pushing so hard. then we'll flip her over. Okay. So that should be there, and I don't have any glue on this edge right here, so that's good. And the last part we're going to do for today is adding on your covers. So when we add these on, there'll be that little bit sticking out here, similar to this. So we'll see part of that spine. We're going to line it up on the inside. So you have your inside covers like this. This one I did a little bit differently because the size of the cover is different, but lining up the edges so that that looks good, we'll make sure that this looks good too. Our size on this one is a little bit tighter to form. So when I look at my book, it'll be about this much all the way around as the size for this book. And then it'll have about that much, just a little bit peeking out there. So I'm going to go about this far. You can look at yours again. I'm not going to mark it, I'm going to eyeball it. But about that far is where we're going to apply glue. We'll apply glue on this whole side. When we put this on, I'll fold it over and use a craft stick to smooth it out. So I have my glue over here. I'm going to go about that far. So you can, if you wanted to, but I don't think we're going to, put wax paper underneath here so you don't get glue in all your pages. But I'm not going to do that today. Okay, so I think I have it about where I want it. So I'm going to take my page. It might even be easier to turn it this way so I'm scraping down. So I'm looking at that edge. I knew about where I wanted it to be. This looks pretty good. So checking on the edges, and here seems to be pretty centered. So I'll take my craft stick. Get that cover out of here. You'll probably get a little bit of glue oozing out, that's okay. Make sure everything's glued down. If you feel like there's an area where glue is not coming out and maybe not glued down, go ahead and put some in there. I have a corner right here. Need some. Okay. That side I think looks pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Oop, looks like I missed a corner. Okay, same thing, about the same distance from the spine. And I'm going to open my book. I'll put it down in front of me again. So I'm centering that up with all the edges. sure this is nice and tight. Okay. So that's all the parts we're gonna do today. We're gonna press these so it can dry. I'll press them probably for about 3 hours or so and then let them dry. And the last step will be, we'll take a glue stick and we're just gonna glue right here and put your edges of your pages together. We'll do that the next day.